Welcome back to the next lesson in an introduction to domains. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to change the name server, which we touched on a little bit in the last lesson. The name server is the first stop in associating your domain with your server. What it does is it will map your domain name, let's say wpin1month.com, to a host, let's say Liquid Web. So the way this works is that a visitor will type in your domain into the browser. The browser will then use that domain to find the name server to see where it should go next. And then it will get the IP address of your server. We don't have to get that technical here. What we're going to do in this lesson is just update the name server to make our domain point to our host. This is a two-step process, and we're going to be using SiteGround for the hosting. So first we're going to select our domain. For this lesson, we're going to use wpcareerstarter.com because we're going to use wp1mo.com, the domain that we registered in the first lesson in this series, later when we set up a domain forward. So let's click on wpcareerstarter.com and we'll be brought to the details page. And you'll see that we have two entries for the name server. We saw this in the last lesson as well. So let's remember that we have that here and then go over to our SiteGround hosting. These instructions may vary depending on what hosting package you have with SiteGround or whatever your hosting company of choice is. However, for this account, the GoGeek account on SiteGround, we have the ability to add domains by going to the cPanel area and clicking on Add-on Domains. So here, I will type in the domain that I intend to point to SiteGround. Everything else will be generated automatically for me, except for the password, which I'll come up with now. The password here is strictly for FTP or SSH access. We will not need this password to point our name servers to SiteGround. So I will click Add Domain now, and the domain will be updated. Now, even though we have the domain name configured on SiteGround, our domain is not ready yet. If we go to wpcareerstarter.com, you'll see that we have a placeholder page with hover. And that's because we're not yet pointing our domain's name servers to SiteGround. So hover still thinks that this is where your domain should resolve to. In order to get the name servers from SiteGround, I'm going to click on cPanel Home here on the right. Under Account Information, you'll see a section called Name Servers. So I'm going to copy them and then paste them where I need to in hover. Notice that the name servers are the same except for the beginning here. There's NS1 and NS2. That's generally the format for name servers no matter what host you use. You'll have a common domain and then NS or name server will change to 1, 2, or 3. This is to provide contingency in case NS1 goes down, your website doesn't go down with it. Because remember, if the name servers are the thing that routes your domain to the IP address, if the name servers go down, your computer will not know what IP address to go to. So if we go back to Manage Domains at hover.com, I'm going to go to the Name Server section and click Edit. I'm presented with a simple form here, so I'm going to replace Hover's name servers with SiteGround's name servers. And because these name servers are the same except for the 1 or the 2, I'm just going to replace the 1 with the 2 for name server number 2 here. While SiteGround and most hosts have 2 name servers, you could have 3 or 4 or however many your host decides to set up. And Hover allows you to add as many as you'd like here. So I'm going to click Save Name Servers. And now the information has changed. If I refresh the page, nothing happens yet. And that's because it's going to take some time for our name servers to propagate to the internet. This process can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours depending on your location, your internet service provider, or your domain registrar. It generally takes a lot less time than that. If you want to check the progress of your domain propagation, you can do that by going to the website whatsmydns.net. Here, it will give you the opportunity to put in a domain name, and then you can choose one of the options here to see if your DNS is updated correctly. In the next lesson, we'll learn what the rest of these options are, but we're most interested in the NS, or name server. Now, we can click search to see if our name server has updated. So it looks like my name servers have propagated almost completely just a few minutes after we set them. It may take a little bit longer for either my internet service provider or my browser to catch up. So we'll leave it here. That's it for this lesson. We learned in this lesson what name servers are, why they're important, and how to change them with Hover. In the next lesson, under Advanced Topics, we're going to take a walk through the DNS, which is a more advanced version of changing the name servers. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that lesson. If you did, go ahead and click the like button, or even better, head over to wpinOnemonth.com/hover and check them out. Buy your domain from them. They're offering a nice discount for anybody who has never bought a domain from them who are students of WP in 1 month. The next video should be right below me, unless you're on the last video, which in that case, congratulations, you have completed the Domains and DNS course. Thanks.